Ben Livingston and Daniel Maudsley joining myself, Stephen Payos, in commentary this evening here at the Mansfield Tavern. We move on now. It is fight number 4 of the evening. This bout is a lightweight contest, three-minute rounds of action. Trevor Sinclair coming up against Craig Bright. We have Craig Bright making his way to the cage. He was born in Mount Isa. His coach is Danny Borg. He has a perfect amateur record, 2 fights and 2 wins, one of them by a knockout and one of them by submission via rear naked choke. We spoke to him earlier in the week, and Craig Bright said that he wants to have fun and test his abilities. Ben Livingston, that is what it is all about, having fun and enjoying yourself inside the cage.
Yeah, look, mate, Bright brings a lot of experience to the cage tonight as far as his grappling goes. Pan Pacs champion, he's won quite a few notable awards along the way, so I'll be looking to see how he goes if this does get to the ground.
He has experience in karate as a junior, brown belts in Matsumoto, and as you mentioned, he has that experience as well, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Masters Novice Champion. Let's see how he goes for this evening. Another tough contest we are expecting here at XFC 41. Craig Bright, he is of course the Butcher, coming down from Mount Isa for this contest, the Queensland native. Crowd has filled up inside the venue, the Mansfield Tavern, looking an absolute treat. Ben Livingston, you've done many events inside this great venue. Is this as packed as you've ever seen it?
Look, the crowd just pouring in at the moment. The atmosphere is brilliant here at Mansfield. Earlier before, you would have seen all the seats starting to get full. We're nearly at capacity. It doesn't get better than this.
Inside the cage, comes Craig Bright. He gets ready in the blue corner. Looking fit, looking ready. Both of these individuals well conditioned, ready to bang on. And in the weigh-in yesterday, you could see that they were both ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we get ready now. Trevor Sinclair making his way out to the cage. Born in Melbourne, he fights now out of Integrated MMA up here in Brisbane. Coached by Adrian Pang. Ben, someone you would know a lot about here, a very accomplished gym and trainer up here in Brisbane.
Yeah, look, Adrian Pang, 1FC veteran, integrated martial arts, probably one of the best in the country at the moment. He's got a very experienced team and he's going to be very hard to beat. Roadkill Sinclair
comes into this contest with an amateur record, 1 fight, 1 win. He has experience in Muay Thai and boxing as well. Ben Livingston, this was an absolute cracker. We asked him earlier in the week, what is your prediction for this fight, Trevor Sinclair?
And what did he say?
He responded with a fatality.
What a man.
What a man, like you say.
Well, I hope not.
Yes.
But he does have a very experienced corner. He's got Greg Panizola in his corner. He's got Isaac Hardman, our current lightweight champion, and Adrian Pang.
Thank you.
A lot of experience in that team.
Thank you for clarifying that, Ben. I'm glad you agree. No fatality, but we can see what he has to offer this evening. Another big contest here at XFC 41. Huge experience, as you mentioned, Ben, in his corner. Hopefully that will make a difference for him. But it must be also very promising for a fighter when they have such experience and such great fighters and guys to train within their gym.
100% experience is everything when it comes to this game, and they learn from the best. So to be in there with that kind of pedigree, it certainly won't do any harm. As Trevor Sinclair makes his way to the cage, we go to Dan Maudsley.
So ladies and gentlemen, fight number 4 this evening, an amateur lightweight bout contested over 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 70.6 kilos and trains out of Vice Jiu-Jitsu, holding an undefeated amateur record of 1 win and 0 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Craig the Butcher Bright. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 70.65 kilos and trains out of Integrated MMA, also holding an undefeated amateur record of 1 win and 0 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Trevor Roadkill Sinclair. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson in centre cage, XFC 41. A new era.
So as we get underway here in fight number 4, just a reminder to all of our patrons here at XFC 41, there is no live streaming permitted in the building. So once again, please refrain from live streaming.
Dan, these two have got straight to business.
Oh, Ben, I've been so excited about this fight all week. Craig Bright, very talented jiu-jitsu player and an absolute granite chin. My apologies. It looks like he's actually 2-0, not 1-0 as I announced in the cage, and he made sure that I'd make that correction. So apologies there, Craig, in his third fight here tonight. And Trevor Sinclair, one of the best debuts I've seen in a while here. I mean, on the last XFC, took home a very impressive TKO victory over Oscar Lang, a talented striker.
You mentioned he's very aggressive in his striking. So, unfortunately, Craig Bright's going to have his hands full this evening.
Daniel Maudsley, you mentioned to me in the preview that Trevor Sinclair was one to watch. You said that he did have that fascinating debut. What are you expecting out of him tonight?
Yeah, no, well, look, everything that integrated MMA do can really be summed up as pressure. Whether it's their wrestling, their striking, or their jiu-jitsu, everything is pressure, and we're seeing that once again here with Trevor Sinclair as, Craig Bright with a tidy little lead uppercut there on the entry.
Yeah, Sinclair making good use of his kicks as well. Some great leg kicks in the open stand. There's some nice little tidy punches in there. Some nice little uppercuts by Bright.
And
big takedown down there from Craig Bright.
And
excellent
this is
takedown.
what we wanted to see.
Yeah, so Craig Bright, a very talented jiu-jitsu player. He's been a blue belt since July of last year, so closing in on a year with that blue belt. And as you can see, beautiful transition, almost into mount. Great job controlling the hips here from Trevor Sinclair.
Well done, almost in full mount there. Yeah. That was great work from Bright.
Great scramble by Sinclair to get up there, and he's using his cage pressure now.
And also Trevor Sinclair asked if I could shout out his friends watching in Karratha, WA, Echuca in Victoria, and all of his family back in Melbourne. So fair few friends tuning in from around the country there for Trevor Sinclair.
You mentioned that early pressure, Daniel, from the start, that whole thing coming from integrated MMA. Plenty of pressure there from
nice little lead there.
Trevor Sinclair, but excellent work there from Craig Bright.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Craig Bright's boxing. It looks like it's really improved since the last fight I saw of his. And some nice work in the clinch. It looks like we're going to see a takedown.
Takedown there. Trevor Sinclair with the mount, looking to stay and put the pressure on.
What can Bright do off his back from this position? That's what I want to know.
Well, he's sneaking those legs up the back there, Ben, so very offensive guard. I've actually seen Craig in the gym that I train at a few times at Combat Lab. He's stopped in for a few trips while he's been on holidays. I actually haven't had the pleasure of rolling him, but I have had the opportunity to watch him roll in the gym, and he does have a very active guard, and he's very sneaky off his back. So Trevor Sinclair got to mind the P's and Q's here.
That's the end of the first round here, gentlemen. Fight number 4, Trevor Sinclair and Craig Bright. What do we make of that round, gentlemen? Almost a 50-50 round in terms of the early pressure from Sinclair, but a nice takedown there from Craig Bright.
The most important thing when you're in a corner is not give your fighter any false hope. You want to let them know exactly where they're at in the game. Big shot landed there by Sinclair, and he moves into position and starts raining down on Bright.
Huge right hand from Trevor Sinclair, looking to keep the pressure on the hammer fist, getting that mount position and land a few of those right hands. What happens here, Ben? He's in trouble.
Bright just trying to survive now. Carl Anderson taking a very close look. Big. Unfortunately, we will have to take another look at that.
Oh no, that looked like it may have been illegal. Of course, can't knee to the head of a grounded opponent. Not sure what the ruling is here on this one, what this third round does, and it looks like we're going to be losing a point. Which, to be honest, Trevor Sinclair doesn't look happy about it, but I think that's actually a good outcome for him.
Yeah.
I think that's the absolute best outcome if this fight can continue, and it looks like it's going to. 1 point.
1 point
I think
deduction.
he got off very lightly there, to be honest.
It did look like, though, gentlemen, when at the event took place that the fight was over, it did look like it was in a position where it wasn't. But we're back on here, ready to go in fight number 4.
How will Bright now respond and come back?
Well, he certainly faced some adversity prior to that knee. Let's see how he's recovered. Looks for the takedown there, and Trevor Sinclair hit
very close eye on this.
Comes forward, shot landed there, left hand from Trevor Sinclair, throws the right leg. But Daniel Bright is also coming back and landing some shots of his own.
But he's got his chin up when he's throwing those punches, which scares me a little bit. But he is throwing quite hard. It looks like he's bouncing on his feet. He's looking not bad. I don't know if this has affected him too badly at the moment.
Yeah,
this is a good outcome.
He doesn't look too rocked. He's doing a really good job keeping his feet under him. Haven't seen the knees lock, which is always a big kind of indicator if someone is still hurt from a shot. As we see, well, some nice takedown defense. And it looks like Trevor Sinclair now in front control here.
Great sprawl by Sinclair.
Keeping the pressure on, as you mentioned, Ben. Great sprawl. They're back on their feet, these two men.
So Trevor Sinclair thought about the knee there for a second, but luckily learned his lesson from losing that last point. As we see, beautiful right hand. Looks like that stung Craig Bright.
Oh! He looks like he might be wobbling a little bit there, Craig Bright, as he comes forward. Trevor Sinclair.
Oh, big knees from Trevor Sinclair. Craig Bright is out.
Craig Bright is in trouble. He's got to affect this takedown.
Oh, wow. So much heart shown from Craig Bright here.
What a great fight back. What a great performance so far to still
great
be in this
sprawl, though,
contest.
by Sinclair. This is integrated MMA at their best.
So we need to see Craig Bright looking to do some work as he defends the shots here from Trevor Sinclair on the ground. Looking to his corner there. Trevor Sinclair for instructions.
And Bright
like
tapped.
Bright's tapped.
So Craig Bright there tapping
He
submission.
taps out.
due to
It's done,
strikes.
gentlemen. It is done. And Trevor Sinclair, hands in the air. He comes away with the victory. A little bit of an innocuous ending there, gentlemen. That ended a little bit surprisingly for what we could tell was happening.
Look, maybe one day I wouldn't mind replaying that one in the future. But, hey, that one's in the books now, ladies and gents. It was a great fight. Look, no love lost between the boys, but I think they'll probably be back to do that one again someday.
What did you make of them restarting that contest, Ben? It was a very, very tough situation that Craig Bright was in. Some time was given, some discussion between the referees. We ended up carrying on, but he never really got back into that fight.
Look, Bright was checked over by the doctors. He wanted to continue. He did not want to call it. If it would have been recalled, they would have gone back through the cards and it probably would have ended in some sort of DQ or look, it was a good decision. He wanted to fight. They can always rematch that.
Yep, well said, Ben. Well said. The fight carried on. We came to an ending, though, and it was Trevor Sinclair who comes away with the victory. He now moves to a record of 2 fights and 2 wins. Daniel Maudsley did talk about him being one to watch, and he proved that this evening. He did have that 1 point penalty taken off him in the second round. We go to Daniel Maudsley now for the decision.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our referee has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 23 seconds of round number 2, declaring your winner by submission due to strikes in the red corner, Trevor Roadkill Sinclair.
Trevor Roadkill Sinclair comes away with the victory in that contest. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 fights into this wonderful evening of action here. This is XFC 41. Sinclair, Trevor Roadkill Sinclair coming away with the victory. Born in Melbourne, now fights here out of Integrated MMA. And a wonderful victory for him. As I mentioned, docked that point in round number 2, but it meant nothing towards the back end because he came through with a fantastic victory.